Today, when I was sending a message to the team, they asked me, what is the thought you have? And the thought that came to me is this: when will we realize that there's nothing in this world like luck? The whole world believes in luck. But when they used to ask me, even as a kid, how do you spell luck? I used to say P-L-U-C-K, not L-U-C-K. I used to say P-L-U-C-K. You pluck. There's nothing like luck. Because we are living in a world of illusion. Why do we meet every day at 8 o'clock? Are we mad? Are we crazy? We meet every day at 8 o'clock because there's the purpose of our life. We devote 30 minutes a day to realize who we are. Why are we here? 23 hours and 30 minutes, we can do what we want. But these 30 minutes I have set aside because I know one thing. I lived for 48 years like an ignoramus. An ignoramus is an idiot. He's a fool. And for 48 years, I thought I knew everything, when in reality, I knew nothing. And I dedicated my life to helping people realize the truth. Because people think we know the answers. Oh, I know everything. What do you know? You don't know anything. Because you're listening to too many people. Some people, they switch on the television or they switch on social media and they're listening to so many people. And then what happens? Just now, I got a message. Like I talked to you, there was a group. It was called Interfaith Group. Some of you have been part of attending that session. There's a lady who's some 70 plus years. Just now, as I was coming, I heard that she passed away. And she was part of my communication. She was sending me messages. I was sending her messages. And she was a seeker of the truth. But before we pass away, before the journey of life is over, we have to realize the truth. Like I told you in the last Friday session, you can't realize the truth after you die. The time is now. That's why every day we will meet and we will ask questions and we will ask all the questions that we do not know answers. Because even till today, I keep asking questions to see whether there are answers. I need to know. I need to realize. So let us start with questions. Who will start with a question today?
Sudeep.
Only?
Question.
Sudeep Bhargava.
Shivam, sir.
Sure, Sudeep.
So my question is that if somebody is able to do the self-realization, so I believe it will be as good as that we get to know that the air inside the balloon is nothing but the air outside the balloon, and the balloon is just a kind of a manifestation. That's what we'll call about the body. So how is that going to be different from the God realization? Because if I understand that I am nothing, whatever I am is the Atma. So how will that be different from God realization? What extra I need to do beyond self-realization to get to God realization?
Oh, it's completely different, Sudeep. It's not the same.
Okay.
Because self-realization is something and God realization is something else. Because people don't know God. Sudeep, 80 out of this world of 100%, 8 billion people, about 1 billion people don't believe in God. They're atheists. They're agnostic. 7 billion people believe in God. 7 billion people. Out of 7 billion people, even 7 million people don't know God. 7 million is a very big number. 0.7 million, maybe they don't know God. People don't know God. People are trying to find God. You can't find God. You think it's an easy subject, Sudeep? No. Self-realization is not God realization, Sudeep. Self-realization is just, it's like when you go into Kailasha, right? Where did you go from Bangalore to where?
Bangalore to Lucknow first.
And then?
Then Nepal.
And then?
Kailash.
No,
then
before
Kailash.
Nepal.
No, from Lucknow directly to Nepal only.
So Nepal is not Kailash, no?
Yes, correct.
Nepal may have mountains, and Nepal may have ice mountains, and but Nepal is not Kailash. I'm just giving an analogy to you.
Yes. I understand.
So what I'm saying is, Sudeep, self-realization makes us realize I am not this body and mind, I am the divine soul. God realization is seeing God everywhere. It's being able to respect everybody as God. Somebody who's not good to you, somebody is mean to you, somebody who doesn't understand what you're talking, somebody who makes you angry, somebody who makes you upset. You still see God in them. It's not easy. It needs a very high evolution from self-realization, because self-realization is only realizing you're the soul. That itself is a big realization. The problem is many people think I am realized. No, you are not realized, because realization is not whether you say I am realized. Realization is in your actions. The moment a person is self-realized, we can see and say he's self-realized. But the person who's self-realized has a long way to go to get God realized. Because God realization means you see God in all. You see God in one and all. That is very, very important. When you don't see the forms, you see the divine.
So
that is the challenge.
Neti Neti is like self-realization. Neti Neti Tattvamasi. And Prajnana Brahma would be God realization.
Yeah.
Similar to that? Can we say that?
Yeah. Prajnana Brahma, Shivoham.
Yes.
Is God realization.
Okay. Fine, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, I think Bridget, the next question from Bridget.
Hello, Shivoham.
Shivoham, Bridget.
I would like to know, in fact, how I can know what is my purpose.
What is your purpose?
Yes.
Bridget.
You have to know I am already a nurse. I work with dementia and Alzheimer's disease. And I take care of many animals during my life.
So Bridget, it hardly matters what you do or what I do. What we do is okay, but our purpose is the same. Whether we are a nurse or a doctor, whether we are a pilot or whether we are an engineer, the purpose is the same, Bridget. The purpose of life, Bridget, is to be liberated from this body and to become one with the divine. Mm-hmm. The purpose of our life is to realize that we are the soul. That is the goal. It does not matter which religion we belong. It does not matter which country we belong. It does not matter what is our profession. We have to, our purpose of life is to overcome ignorance and to realize the truth and to be liberated and to be united with God. We don't know the meaning of that. Suppose you tell somebody, you must be united. That is the purpose. What is, today, incidentally, Bridget, what is today? Today is the World Yoga Day. Today, and people say, what is yoga? They say yoga is the union of body, mind, and soul. No, there is no union of body, mind, and soul. This is not true. Yoga means union between the soul and the supreme soul. The purpose of the wave in the ocean, the purpose of the wave is to stop splashing and to become the ocean. Otherwise, it will go on coming back and splashing and splashing and splashing and splashing. And you also will come back like me. We will come back. Again, we will be born. Again, we will go to school. Again, we will learn. Again, we will earn. Again, we will fall sick. Again, we will die. Again, we will be born. Again, we will go to school. Again. You get my point, Bridget?
Yes. But how I can stop this? And how I can be unite with God?
By realizing that you are not the body and the mind. You are the divine
I
soul.
know it.
You know it, but you have to realize it.
I know it.
You know it. Knowing is not realizing. Knowing, if you knew, see, if you knew it, okay, let me ask you one question. Just now you told me you take care of many patients. I have dementia.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
moment you don't see the patient as a patient, the moment you see God in the patient, you have achieved your purpose.
Okay.
Every patient, you will tell me, how can I see God? This is not God, this is human being. How can I see God? That is the challenge, Bridget. We have to learn to realize, not learn, we have to realize that the people that we see is not the body, is not the person who has dementia. They are the divine soul. We have to go inside and see that when we attain that purpose. Sudeep asked question just before this. That is God realization. That is our goal.
We are all little piece of God. And
correct. We are all tiny particles of God.
We are the puzzle.
Yeah, we are the puzzle. We are doing the puzzle, right? So we are all, something, Bridget, many years back in Geneva, they had something called a Higgs boson. They had something called a God particle. You can Google and see. They spent billions of dollars to make a tunnel to find the smallest particle of matter. And they called it a God particle. Mm-hmm. Because it became energy, and scientists don't know the meaning of that energy. It's what is this energy? But you are on the track, so keep on and on. Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you.
Nishu Mathur asks a question. I have a question. When people are born with special gifts or skills, is it because of their past karma or because the mind ego carries the learning from the previous life? Nishu, when people are born with special gifts, you are giving a specific condition. When people are born with special gifts, I don't believe anybody is born with special gifts. But if they are really born, like you are saying, then that is their karma. Because if they came and they became skilled, for example, you say he's born with a voice of a nightingale, born with the voice of nightingale, then it's karma. They passed action. But how can somebody be born with the voice? Because you have to develop that voice. You have to develop the skill. So we are too caught up in myth, and we believe so many things, like we are born. Nobody is born with a golden spoon. We may be born in a family, we may be rich. We may be born in a family which may be poor. We may be born in a country where there is terrorism. That is different. But an individual who is born is an individual carrying their karma. Yes, they carry their karma, and their karma can give them the special gifts. Not the mind and ego carrying. No, the mind and ego was carrying the karma. The same thing. Both your questions are the same. Is it because the past karma or because mind and ego learning from previous life? No. The mind and ego is reset. It's not. There are some things that we carry from our previous life. For example, take a small little doggy and put the doggy in the water. The doggy starts swimming. How does the dog swim? Some people say it's instinct. What is it? Instinct. Is it what the mind carries from life after life? How does the dog know to swim? You throw the dog in the water, it starts swimming. It doesn't drown. So these are too many things that we can contemplate, but the truth is known to the divine. What matters to us is to realize who we are, why we are here, and to move forward on our path to enlightenment. Thank you, Nishu. Next question. Sanjay Das. Unmute yourself, Sanjay Das. Please unmute yourself.
Sure, Guruji. I wanted to ask, we all are praying for everyone. Sometimes we are deeply praying. Exactly what happens after praying in the universe that goes to the person who is not well in the hospital or thousands kilometers away, We are praying for them. Prayer. What is prayer? Everyone prays. But what happens, sir? From the deep of our mind, we pray.
When we pray, but we don't know to whom we pray, and we don't know what we say, then we don't pray. We just pray. You know what's bray, no? Who brays? The donkey brays. So I wrote this a few days back. When we pray, but we don't know to whom we pray, and we don't understand what we say when we pray, then we don't pray. We just pray. What happens when you're walking out of your house and you hear a donkey bray? What happens, Sanjay? Do you think he's saying a prayer? No. Now I'm asking you a question. Suppose I tell you. Suppose I tell you.
Not understanding.
If you don't understand, then no use. No? If the Almighty doesn't understand what you're talking, then what is the use of praying?
Is it for the self-contentment?
No. So
we are praying.
No, Sanjay, we have to go back. We have to step back. Because you want to understand the real meaning. You're asking this question because you want to understand. So Sanjay, first of all, when we pray, we must understand that the God that we are praying to, where is that God, Sanjay?
Inside us.
Then why we are praying outside, Sanjay? Think about what I'm saying. You're looking at the sky and you're saying, oh, where is the God in the sky? Now I'm asking you another question. Do you know that people spend lakhs of rupees, millions of dollars, they spend lots of money and they go to a place of worship?
Yes.
Correct? And when they reach that place, what's the first thing they do? They fold their hands.
Yes.
And before they start praying, you know what they do, Sanjay? What they do, tell me? Before they start praying, after folding the hands?
Nay.
They close their eyes. Now, why did you go to Kailasha all the way and then you close your eyes? Because the God is not there. You close your eyes instinctively because where is the God, Sanjay?
Heart.
That's why you close your eyes. We don't know. Why do people always close their eyes when they pray? Because you can't, outside the God is not there. The God is inside.
Yes.
So I'm trying to make you understand this subject of prayer has been completely misunderstood. This subject of prayer, that you are praying for somebody who's dying in a hospital, Sanjay, that poor person in the hospital is suffering their karma. If there's a poor person and you want to buy food for them, you please do your karma buying them food. If you want to give them an injection or you want to give them a hospital bed or you want to give oxygen, you please do that. But by praying, what you must understand is there is one aspect of prayer which is very important. When you sincerely connect to the divine. Now, how many people actually sincerely connect in yoga to God? Very few people have the ability to communicate with the divine. When you are able to sincerely tell God, oh God, somebody is praying. I pray for that person's well-being. Yeah, that prayer may work if the divine feels it's necessary. But there are 8 billion people and everything is controlled by karma. So we must realize the power of prayer. True prayer, Sanjay, is this. True prayer is to be in union with God. True prayer is to surrender. True prayer is to accept. I'm asking you a question, Sanjay Das. If you and me are praying for somebody in a hospital who's dying of cancer, are you telling me God doesn't know? Are you telling me God needs you and me to tell him to take care of that person?
Got it, sir. Got it. Perfectly said. Closing the eyes, which you said, really. Shivam, sir. Shivam. You're looking at your...
Sanjay, this is why we are meeting every day, Sanjay. I know you sincerely are coming every day We have to realize the truth, Sanjay. I know what you are telling, what you are listening from me and talking to me. If you go outside this Zoom call and tell somebody, they will not understand and they will not accept because they are in a different world altogether.
Got it, sir. Got it.
But we are going in a different world. We are going into the world of realization. We are going into the world of enlightenment. Therefore,
yes,
we are on a different journey altogether.
Shivam, sir. Shivam. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you. Next
Navjot.
question. Navjot. Navjot.
Sir, I've got two questions.
Yes, Navjot.
First one is, did Gautam Buddha say that this life is full of misery and sorrow?
The Buddha said, Gautam Buddha said, yes.
Is it true?
It's true, but it's not. It depends how you take it, right? Because according to me, this world is full of suffering, but to me, this world is a merry-go-round. In this merry-go-round, we go round and round, and we pass pleasure and pain, loss and gain, sun and rain, again and again. So, but
So
he told it a different way.
Duality in this world.
Hmm?
There is duality in this world.
Yeah, but duality has so many meanings, Navjot. You're using the word duality. There is day and night. Okay? There's darkness and light. This world has got, yes, there is black and white. This is called duality. Yes, there is duality.
And the second question is, do life and death go in cycle?
Life and death, yes. Life and death is a cycle because it's just like a sunset somewhere becomes a sunrise somewhere else. A sunset. 1,000 years ago, what they used to think that the earth is static and the sun is moving. The sun is moving from east and going around. And I think when Galileo, when he told the church that, hey, you fools, sun is not moving, they put him in jail. They put him in jail. And recently the Pope has apologized, saying that we apologized that Galileo was put in jail because what he said was true, that the sun is not moving, but it is the earth that is moving. So you're right. Birth and death in a way are cycles because death is not the end. Death is just a bend. And again, we come back. So the cycle for the me, the mind and ego is that it comes back again and again. So it's like a cycle. But that's why Buddha said that we should escape from this cycle, this chakra of samsara. He called it the cycle or the chakra of samsara, where we are born and we die and we are born and we die and we are born and we die. Why? How many people ask the question, why? We don't ask the question. That's why Bridget said, what is my purpose? The purpose is not just to be born and to die and to be born and to die and to be born and to die. The purpose is to be liberated.
Right.
Thank you. Next
question.
One
last question.
Third question.
One last question.
Yes.
So is it necessary that we'll be born human again?
You will be born human?
Yes.
That only God knows.
Okay.
Your karma depends on your karma.
So is it a chance that we can change the form?
I believe I have a little pet dog. When I look at that pet dog and the pet dog has a pain in its kidney, the pet dog cannot tell me my kidney is paining. And I feel that pet dog, although that pet dog is living a luxurious life with me, I pet the dog and pamper the dog, but फिर भी कुत्ते की जिंदगी, इसलिए बोलते हैं ना कुत्ते की जिंदगी, बोलते नहीं बोलते?
Right.
So maybe the Buddhists and the Jains believe that you can be born as an animal. Some Hindus believe, some don't believe. It is different understanding. We really don't know. Maybe you can be born as an animal. Maybe you can be born as a lizard, but the lizard will not earn karma. Even if it's born to cancel its karma, it will come back. But see, I don't want to tell you a lie. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's the law of karma, how it works. Only God knows. Man does not understand.
I asked this because rebirth is a very confusing topic.
No, it's not confusing at all. It's very easy to understand. If you wipe out the blackboard with all the garbage on the board, very clear to understand. Life, death, rebirth, life, death, rebirth. If you realize the truth, no rebirth, liberation, unification. Simple equation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next question.
Gaurish.
Gaurish is asking a question on the mobile. My question, if one person born in a place where there is bloodshed, and he does the same by watching that, my doubt, does it double his karma when there is mukti, salvation for him? When a person is born in a place where there is bloodshed, that person still has a soul, a conscience, a mind, an intellect, a choice, and willpower. We can refuse to be a part of that bloodshed. We do not have to be a part of the evil. We can walk away. God has given us the ability to walk away. And we must walk away from it. If it was our karma to be born there, that itself is bad enough. And if we continue to be bad or part of that bad karma, then we are going to suffer more because we have not walked away from that bad karma and we will suffer. So we have to walk away from bad karma. Yes, please.
Last question, Rekha.
Rekha. I have a question. Does a human being be born as a human next birth? Yes. Most likely a human being will be born as a human being. But we must understand that the law of karma is only known to the divine. We know one thing, that there will be rebirth. Whether we will be born as a human being or an elephant or a dog, we don't know. Because there is an Atma, there is a life, there is a soul, there's a ruh. Even in a tree, Now, I don't know whether we can be born as a tree. If somebody tells you they know, the question is, how do they know? Nobody knows, right? So suppose I tell you, I can tell you in Rais's pocket how many rupees are there. How can I know in Rais's pocket how many rupees are there? Can I know? No, I can guess. How can I tell you what is in Rais's pocket? Only Rais knows. No? I mean, some things we should use our common sense. And we should realize the problem is we are carried away by too many scoundrels. I use the word scoundrel because the scoundrels of this world, they speak with so much confidence like they know everything. When in reality, we don't know anything. We are all learning. Every day, we have to ask, investigate, realize the truth. And this WhatsApp, you will get 100 messages on WhatsApp. Now, which message to believe? Which message not to believe? Correct? We are zapped in today's world. Therefore, it is so important for us to have a paroksh anubhuti. We must have our own realization. We must ask, read, investigate Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Sravana means we must read and listen to everybody. Manana, we must contemplate and introspect what is right, what is wrong. Nididhyasana, we should get our own realization. We should use our intellect. We should use our consciousness. Why should we listen to anybody? How many times I've told you, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me and blindly listen to me. No. When I tell you something, you listen. Then you contemplate. Then you introspect. Then you hear me, there's a helicopter on top of me. You listen. After you listen to what I say, you introspect and you contemplate. Is it right? Is it wrong? If you blindly follow what I say, then maybe I'm fooling you. You should not blindly follow what I say. You should realize whether it's right or wrong. If it makes sense to you, then you should follow. If it does not make sense, then you must not follow. One more question. Sudeep Bhargava.
Shivam sir, not a question, but just why should we really be worried about the next birth? I would rather be looking for the liberation in this birth itself. So that's my point. It's like planning for bad quality when you can actually prepare a good quality product.
No, the point is this, that the next birth becomes an inspiration for us to be liberated. It is an inspiration for liberation. The point is that if you don't realize, okay, suppose you don't realize that if the day, suppose you die tomorrow, right? And by tomorrow, you have not realized the truth. Then what happens? Do you have a choice? You will come back. Do you think death will come and knock at your door? Dear Sudeep, I'm coming to you on the 31st of December, 2025. No, death will not come. Death will not inform you when it's coming. But with the moment death comes to you or to me, if we are not realized, if we have not liberated ourselves from the samsara, we will come back and we will cry because this cycle, we are caught in this chakra. It is so beautiful to be liberated. It is so amazing to live a life of Sat Chit Anand. But the point is, we are not able to live in that life. We are not able to reach that state of liberation. The moment we reach that state of liberation, we are not able to. You know, Sudeep, the moment people start becoming liberated and enlightened, oh, this world will be, there'll be 100 suns in the world, just like your one sunlight from the sky. If we can't find liberated people, it's a big problem. If there are liberated people, this world would be a much. Today, I'm asking you a question before I close. Why are people simple? Why is this world full of war and hate and fight and battle and conflict? Why? Why are human beings killing each other? Why are brothers fighting for property and murdering each other? One brother puts poison in the other brother's food. For what? Are you telling me, Sudeep, he doesn't know that when he dies tomorrow, he cannot take the property with him? Does he know it or he doesn't know it? He knows it. Then why is he doing it? Why is one country taking guns and killing other countries? Why are we butchering people? Why are we throwing stones at each other? Why are we taking knives and swords and killing each other like mad people? Because we are ignorant. Because we don't realize. Ye leela hai maya, kuch bhi sach to na. नाटक ये प्रभु का है एक ख्वाब जैसा, जहां में होता जो वो माया है. प्रभु को पाना यही मकसद है. ओ सवाल हमें कोई ना करना है. मंजूर करना जो भी होता है. निर्देशक वो उनकी लीला. हम तो कलाकार है, कर्तव्य है करना. ये लीला है माया. I always like to give you one of the songs because the songs sometimes have got more than what I can speak, and this is a gift of the divine. I bow down to you for making each session better than the previous session with folded hands. I thank you.